And we're back. Chris Cullen, the good doctor, two-time Hall of Famer. And of course, myself, just everyday pedestrian, Sam Marcoux. Here's segment number 2. And Chris, you've heard of a pick 6 or 2, right? Tua Tagovailoa threw a couple of those in practice the other day.
I never want to hear about this again. Yes, but I've heard of pick 6.
You've heard of pick 6, but this is not pick 6 because we don't throw interceptions for touchdowns the other way here, Chris. We throw nothing but touchdowns. So we kind of call this pick 1 here, Chris, the newest segment, a game show here for you and I and all the citizens of Perfectville to play together. And this is where we're going to pick 1. We're going to put 2 former Miami Dolphins or current Miami Dolphins players up against each other, and you and I are going to pick 1. You can only have one. The other one just disappears forever. We never see or hear of that guy ever for the Miami Dolphins. Are you ready, Chris?
Born ready, my friend.
All right. Pick 1, Chris Chambers or Jarvis Landry, and you can only pick 1, Chris.
And this is prime Chambers, prime Landry.
Yes, this is absolutely based on their career and body of work for the Miami Dolphins.
Man, gosh, that's tough, man. Landry is a bulldog. So is Chambers. Yeah, that's my thing. Is I'll go with nostalgia. I'll go with Chambers. We have the same initials. We have CC. I'm showing on my arm here. Chris Chambers, Chris Cullen, both named Chris. And dude, he did it with worse quarterbacks, in my opinion. Landry, I mean, even with argue about Tannehill all you want. The guy's gone to AFC Championship game. You know, he's doing it with the likes of. I don't even want to name them. They're so bad. But yeah, I mean, it's Chris Chambers for sure. For me, just based on nostalgia. And of course, that dude, my dad and I were talking, it was like a month or so ago. And it blew our minds that we thought he was 6'4", like half his career, because he played like he was, he's 5'11". But he can get up and get the ball. So and he was here longer. So I'll go CC.
Here's the thing with Chris Chambers, and I agree with you. It's Chris Chambers over Jarvis Landry, and I don't think it's particularly close. What you said is one of the things that I've always been impressed with Chris Chambers' career is that he was 5'11", okay? And when you see him out there, he carried himself like he was Megatron, like he was 6'6" out there. His leaping ability, he played big. He was a big-time player out there. And you're right. I think when you look at the consistency of the quarterback position that he had versus Jarvis Landry, say what you want about Ryan Tannehill, but Ryan Tannehill over the last 2 seasons with the Tennessee Titans, now that he's in the right system, has 53 touchdowns between throwing and running the ball. It's insane how well he's done since he's left Miami. So he wasn't a bad quarterback. Now, he has developed his skills, but he was a good quarterback who I think made Jarvis Landry look pretty good as well. The other thing about this as well is I think Jarvis, he was much more of a vocal leader. I think we all knew who he was right away. Chambers let his play speak for him. I can remember to this day, the time I remember Chris Chambers jumping onto the scene was when he jumped all over the Buffalo Bills his rookie season, and I think he had 3 touchdowns and a come from behind victory in the fourth quarter. And I just remember going, who in the heck is this guy? But this is where I will disagree with you. I don't think both of them are Bulldogs. I think Chris Chambers is actually a Badger, if I'm not mistaken, because he went to Wisconsin. You see what I did there.
Yeah, and just like Wisconsin, that was cheesy.
Look at that. Hey-oh. So we both take Chris Chambers. Jarvis Landry ceases to exist in this world for the Miami Dolphins. Let's move on to the next one here, Chris. Pick 1. Ricky Williams, Larry Csonka.
Oh, my dad will hate me for this, but I'm taking Ricky all the way, man. That guy was a blast to watch. Fucking monster. The visor, the dreads, the stiff arms. It was like everything about my young childhood and fanhood and my first real memories. Ricky doing the, thing in Buffalo is freaking 200-yard games. Even the controversy. I mean, honestly, if weed is legal in the NFL, Ricky Williams is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and we might win a Super Bowl. I mean, like, this guy was that good, even with Dave Wanstead running him into the fucking ground. I love Larry Csonka. He's a monster, a great follow on Twitter, hosted American Gladiators, for Christ's sake. Broke his nose before every game was a story my dad told me to get him amped up and adrenaline. Flipped off the Sports Illustrated magazine. So he's a freaking legend and badass. I just didn't see him play. So I'm going with Ricky Williams, 34.
Okay, but you said Ricky Williams had weed been legal, we might have won a Super Bowl. We won 2 Super Bowls with Larry Csonka, the only 2 in franchise history. He's on the team that named this podcast Perfectville because he went undefeated.
Maybe I am getting fired.
By the way, here's the other thing. It's not just the controversy with Ricky Williams. People forget, and I never saw him play either, but Larry Csonka left the Miami Dolphins in the 70s under some very, shall we just say, controversial sort of situations here. So it wasn't just Ricky. It's kind of funny when you see those two and you put them next to each other, how their careers were actually somewhat parallel in many ways. I love Ricky Williams to death. It hurt me when he left. I remember turning on, this is what happened. I bought my first house. I was in my early 20s. I was excited. I got cable set up, and then I turned on the TV on that Sunday, and I turned it on, and the first thing I see on ESPN Sports Center was breaking news: Ricky Williams retires from the NFL. And I just was like, I hate this house, I hate this TV, I hate the Miami Dolphins, I hate Ricky Williams, I hate my life, I want to just die. That's how much Ricky Williams went. And I went, as you know, Chris, a very long time being very bitter towards Ricky Williams as a fan, because I just thought he set us up for failure. Now, hindsight being what it is, I totally understand why Ricky Williams retired. And I mean, I like walked 2 miles the other day, and I was like, this is bullshit. This guy was getting the ball 400 times and just being asked to be collided into 400 times in a season. No, not okay, especially when you had other weapons on that team that we should have been utilizing. But I'm going to go Larry Csonka, man. I have to go with the legacy of a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And besides, Ricky Williams never hosted American Gladiators. It's got to be Csonka.
Yeah, I'm going to get so much shit for this. I'm prepared for it. Welcome back, Chris.
There you go. So we just every now and then we disagree. Chris has Ricky Williams. I have Larry Csonka. So far, our team is Chris Chambers, Ricky Williams, if you're Chris Cullen, and Chris Chambers, Larry Csonka, if you're Sam Marcoux. All right, next one here, Chris. I think I know the answer to this, but let's just do that era versus the legacy, because we already see how this went. I already know the answer. I don't know why I'm asking this question. You know what?
Zach Thomas.
Change it up. We're going to change it up. We're going to change it up. They don't play the same position, but we're going to make this a little harder. I was going to go Zach Thomas versus Manny Fernandez, but I already knew the answer to that. That's not compelling radio or video. Let's go Zach Thomas versus Jason Taylor. Pick one.
Jason, you got to be fucking kidding
Zach
me.
Thomas, pick one. Gun to your head.
Dude, okay, so as far as I don't know. You threw me a curveball here, man. Off air, we said Manny Fernandez and Zach. This is ridiculous. We actually prepared, guys, for the show. Dude, this is so tough. So production-wise, Jason, they're both Hall of Famers, and both should be Hall of Famers. Jason Taylor's an actual Hall of Famer. Jason Taylor, I think we were just looking at this, is 6th or 7th in sacks in a career. So that's just fucking unbelievable. All those multiple pick six. But if you tell me to pick one, he's down the hallway right now. My son is named Zachary Thomas Cullen. I played middle linebacker. I don't know if Jason Taylor has a career, vice versa, both of them probably. That's why this makes it so tough without the other. But I'm 100% just for me as the position I played. And the guy I looked up to and modeled my game after and named my son after is Zach Thomas. So I'm going to have to pick one, gun to my head, and it's Zach Thomas, but Jason Taylor's a goddamn Hall of Famer and amazing. I love him too.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't know that anybody, this is like choosing between two children. We don't know, you can't have one without the other. It's peanut butter and jelly. It's Siegfried and Roy, if you want to go with the, odd magician reference from the Las Vegas Strip. But I'm going to go the other way. And here's why. A, it's more compelling for me to disagree with you. And B, strategically, I'm just thinking ahead here, Chris. I'm thinking of the future. If I pick Jason Taylor, that means Zach Thomas goes away, right? That's what that means. But we have another Zach Thomas waiting in the wings here. And you mentioned it, Chris. Your teenage son, right down the hall from where you're recording right now, is a mean-ass football player, mean-ass rugby player. His name is Zach Thomas. So I'm going to think ahead here strategically, and I'm going to take Jason Taylor on my team. That's who I'm picking out of the pick one. And I'm going to have Zach Thomas. I'm banking on you developing your Zach Thomas into the next great middle linebacker for the Miami Dolphins in the future here. So I'm thinking maybe 2030, 2032, whenever he's going to be eligible to be drafted. And then that's when I'm going to get my Zach Thomas back on the team.
Ooh, I like it. Speak that into existence, buddy. He's class of 2026. So you're looking at college 3 years. You're right. Yeah, right on par there, like 2030, drafted NFL. Zach Thomas, that'd be pretty cool. Be the first Zach Thomas, not the next Zach Thomas. I like how you're thinking there. In my opinion, in this pick one, I win either way. So that sounds great.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Sidebar from pick one. Let's just play this out. Let's just say Zach continues on the course. He goes to Clemson, which I know is his dream school, and then he moves on and is eligible to be drafted. Okay.
I think I know where I'm going.
And all of a sudden, you see the New York Jets walk up to the podium and they say Zach Thomas Cullen, middle linebacker, Clemson, as their draft pick, how are you going to handle that?
I'll cry that he got drafted, and I'll cry that he got drafted to the Jets. And we've actually discussed this. He's asked me this before, and I've told him I will hope he has individual success and the team loses.
So, like, if the Jets are playing the Dolphins and he is the middle linebacker, you want him to maybe pick off the quarterback. It could still be Tua at that point, but you want it to be like 35-7 at that point.
Yeah, 15 tackles, but like we throw all over him because he's not in coverage. Yeah.
You think he'd be feeding the Miami Dolphins today? Like, here's his weaknesses. Okay, go easy on him. Let him have a couple of batted balls, but here's how you can get him.
He fucking hates backpedaling. No, this like actually really happened. So I've known Jacoby Ford since I was 5 years old. We played together in the same flag football team in West Palm Beach, Florida, and he went to Clemson. And him and CJ Spiller broke all these kickoff return records and whatnot, and he got drafted by the Raiders. And I remember private messaging him and saying, "Hey, Jacoby, I hope you have a great game, but I hope the Dolphins win." And he just, I think, said LOL or something. He ended up actually, that's a game he had his first 100-yard receiving game, and he had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and I think we won. So it worked out. That's like that, but on steroids if it's my son and if it's the Jets.
Let's tie this into pick one. So in this case, Zach Thomas is being drafted by an AFC East team. You have to pick one: Patriots, Jets, Bills.
Dude, that's fucking terrible. I hate all of them. I guess Buffalo, and here's why. I do have a reasoning for this. Because New England, I don't think they'll be relevant by then. Belichick will be gone. They'll just be another with no fans in the crowd, like just before 2000. But Buffalo, those fans will love him. You know what I mean? Like it's more like blue collar. He's not in the city where he's just getting like shit on by the stupid media with the Jets if he has one bad game. I think Buffalo, especially knowing my son, no bias, legitimately, he plays super hard, and he fights for every yard and every tackle. And I think that would fit, and they would be jumping through tables for him. So if I had to choose, pick one, it'd be Buffalo, and he can give me a lot of wings. So that'd be cool.
Well, there you go. You just swayed me. I was going to say the Patriots because at least he'd have some success considering that, what they've been doing over the last 20 years. But Buffalo wings trumps Super Bowl rings. So Buffalo it is. Chris Cullen, Sam Marcoux, choose the Buffalo Bills for Zach Thomas Cullen to be drafted in 2030.
If this happens, I swear to God. Just go to San Francisco or the Chargers or something. Like, Jesus.
Actually, if he comes to the 49ers, I get to watch a whole bunch of his games because I'm out here on the West Coast, so I'd be okay with that. And I hate the Niners, but I love me some Zach Thomas Cullen, so I'd be okay with that. All right, we have time for one more here. Another pick one. Why don't you choose one, Chris? Why don't you throw one at me? And why don't we pick one from the mind of Chris Cullen?
All right. Let's see here. Pick one. I've got one for you. Let's see. I have one guy in mind. Let me see the other. Let's see. Ooh, who's a good guy?
It's compelling.
Yeah. All right, pick one. Don Shula or Dan Marino.
Interesting. Now we're crossing from coach to player, and it's interesting that you chose those two because I wanted to bring Don Shula into this, and I wasn't sure how to do it because if you're going to put him against any other coach, it's a no-brainer. But that's the way to do it. That's the way to make this a challenging, compelling game. Don Shula versus Dan Marino. Now, based on my logic earlier, I took Csonka over Ricky because Csonka was a huge part in us having the 2 Super Bowl rings and the perfect season. That same logic applies to Don Shula. But Dan Marino is Dan Marino. I think more people identify the Miami Dolphins with Dan Marino than they do Don Shula. I think, that's a straw poll here. And maybe we'll throw that on Twitter. Who do they identify more with, Don Shula, Dan Marino? I want to say it's Dan Marino. But man, that is a tough one because Dan Marino is really the reason I became a Miami Dolphins fan. So that's really, really tough to say anybody other than Dan Marino. I think that Dan Marino versus everybody, and the answer is going to be Dan Marino for the majority of Miami Dolphins fans. But Don Shula, the chin, the man, he got to 5 Super Bowls, lost 3 of them, but he won 2 of them. The winningest coach of all time. That's a big part of the legacy of the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say it. I'm going to choose the coach over the player, like a good front office would do. Otherwise, usually they don't do that. I'm going to go with the man, Don Shula, over Dan Marino. Dan Marino, I'm so sorry. Please come on our show.
Not anymore. Hey, Don Shula has great steak sauce, so in steakhouses, so
And
that'll
that,
push him
that's a
over.
good point. Dan Marino has a shitty, lousy restaurant in the Hooters Hotel at Las Vegas. So,
But he was also an Ace Ventura.
Good point. See, he was an Ace Ventura.
So was Don Shula, technically.
Yeah,
remember in the mailbox?
Dan Marino should have won an Oscar for Best Supporting Role. Lost out to Snowflake, unfortunately. But I would, you know what? Damn, maybe I go Dan Marino. I don't know. What do you think? I'm gonna stick with Don because I made my decision, and nobody likes a flip flopper. But what do you say?
I'm going Dan, and I'm gonna actually add this to it. And I'm already getting shit for the Larry Zonka. I might as well piss everybody off. Does Dan Marino win a Super Bowl with a different coach? I love Don Shula. He's amazing, but does a different coach maybe go out and get a running game or go out and really pad the defense up? Who knows? I mean, he had Jimmy Johnson obviously for a couple of years, but injuries and things like that, end of his career.
Okay, but flipping the script here, because Don Shula made it to the Super Bowl with many different quarterbacks. He had David Woodley and Don Strzok. He had Earl Morrall. He had Bob Greasy, not Brian Greasy, and he had Dan Marino. He made 4 different quarterbacks Super Bowl quarterbacks. You could make the argument that if Dan Marino never goes to the Miami Dolphins, Don Shula has somebody else in his place, and maybe that team gets back to the Super Bowl and wins another Super Bowl. Could it go the other way? Did Dan Marino hold Don Shula back based on his only ability to just throw the ball and not really want to have a running game?
That's a great question. And now our time's up. So we definitely got to bring that to Twitter because that's going to be a huge discussion.
Absolutely. Well, that was a lot of fun, and that actually hurt my soul a little bit here. And we could do that again and again and again, but pick one. Chris Collins, Sam Marcoux, welcome to Perfectville. We'll be back right after these words